perfect. Yeah. Unfortunately, though, she's not a voter.
Any more time? Bruce, I'm doing yours right now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Let's call our meeting to order tonight. Glad you all are here. Let's stand and we'll have a prayer and our pledge of allegiance.
Would you bow your head and let's pray. Lord, we thank you for this beautiful day that you've created. God, I pray that you be with us tonight as we try to be about your business. And Lord, I pray that you help us and give us wisdom tonight. And we thank you for this, Jesus. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Here.
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 Here. Item 2, petitions from the audience. We have one that I know of. Please come, Mr. Stott.
It's stapled together, isn't it?
Hello. I know I sound like a broken record, and I was going to bring some earplugs and give each councilman just one so you could put it in there so what I say won't go in one ear and out the other. But I'm down here hoping that maybe y'all consider something done with the POIO to save it. I'm not asking for hundreds of thousands of dollars put in it right now. I think with repairing the roof, it's bought some time. I don't think we need to do anything quick, but that's one of Pryor's most historical buildings. If nothing else, just leave it as a monument. I feel like if nothing else, you could, I think if you try and sell it, as I said before, the new buyer won't be able to meet the parking codes, and if you tear it down, you're gonna have a lot that's not hardly big enough to do anything with. So, you know, if nothing else, you could cut a door in the east end and use it for storage for the different departments. I know you got 100 and some bicycles that you're going to get rid of at the police department, but they'll be gathering up more. You know, I don't think you want to put the confiscated stuff and bicycles at the new building. You know, that'd be an ideal place. So anyway, I just don't want you to rush into things because I think Pryor needs to hang on to that building. Thank you.
Thank you, Drew.
Thank you.
We'll move to item 3, department head reports. Building inspector, no report. Emergency management. Hello, Mike.
Yes, so
Come
you
on.
get the second guy. First guy is out on vacation.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mike Dunham.
I'm the Deputy Director for Emergency Management. If you did not know that, some of you I know haven't seen before, some I mean better than others. Really, all we're going to sit there and report is you've got to remember we have severe weather. It's starting to come up. It's that time of year, April into May, and parts of June. Well, technically it's January to February and on down to December. But the main meat and taters is April and May. That's the highest frequency of severe weather. So we want everyone to be weather aware. We want to remind everyone that the Code Red system that we do have, you can go to the city's website or the county's website. If you haven't already signed up, you can sign up for weather alerts. The county commissioners did pay the extra to get weather alerts, and so you can get weather alerts. It doesn't cost you a dime. You just have to go in and register. That's all you have to do. It's just that easy. All our storm sirens are working, thanks to MUB, helping us get batteries changed out. That saved us a lot of money, just having to just do the batteries, and MUB being nice guys and replace them for us, so appreciate that. But other than that, that's all we got.
Thank you.
Questions?
Yes, I do. Since Drew brought up the PYO building, I meant to tell Mr. Jansen this last time, but up on the second floor, when you all moved out of the building and moved into your new one,
Yes, sir.
there's offices up there that is still full of your stuff, full of CEM equipment, desk, filing cabinets, all kinds of stuff. So at some point, we're gonna be trying to get that building cleaned up. I didn't know if you were aware that it's all up there, but it
Well, I
was
knew there
left.
was some stuff that was kind of left up there. I think that was pre-us.
Okay, well,
Before
all
we
right.
took over, but we will go up there.
And there may be some stuff that you
Yeah,
need or
we'll
want.
go up there and we'll,
Filing cabinets got paperwork and all kinds of stuff.
yeah, we'll go ahead and clear out anything that has CEM on it, so, alrighty.
Thank you, Mike. Fire Department?
Must be on call.
BK was called to a daughter's birthday party.
There you go. Emergency.
Golf course? No report. Library? Ms. Carrie Rarrett.
Hi. If you have been by the building, you will see that the American Legion brought us a flag that will fly on our pole and not hit the building. It's a little bit smaller than what's recommended for our flagpole, but it's beautiful and it works, and we are super thankful that they took the time to buy that and to donate it to us. So, and we have an extra one in case that one gets tattered. We are working on some formal policies for how to reserve our meeting rooms when the library is not open. I will have those to present to the library board at the end of this month. And we may, if we can get it done in time, we may also have some policies on makerspace use and that kind of thing. But we're just now kind of getting our feet under us and using the building as it was intended, now that all the flooring has been replaced. So, also, speaking of which, we've started tracking, it's not a super scientific tracking method, but we've started tracking our study room use. We have 4 study rooms off the computer lab, and in the month of March, we have more than 100 uses of those 4 rooms for that month. We don't have quite all of the numbers in yet, but we're really excited that those rooms, I mean, they're almost always full, which is really, really great. And people can reserve those, so if you know you're gonna need it, you know, for a specific time, you can call ahead and reserve a room for yourself. And then the only other thing I have is we now have 5 notaries at the library. This is a service that we provide free to the public when we're open and when we have a notary in the building. And we're working to get our 6th one so that all full-time staff are notaries and can provide this service for the public.
What is the capacity for the meeting room? Roughly?
Which one?
The biggest, just so people know.
So the fire department came over and we looked at all of the rooms. So the big meeting room can be split in 2. When you use the tables and the chairs in one half of it, it's 30. If you just have chairs, it's 50. So then double that if you want to use the whole space.
Thank you.
And then the study rooms are about 6 per. So
How many study rooms?
4.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Very good. Any other questions?
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Carrie. Parks and Cemetery. Mr. Frank Powell.
So it's springtime, so we've been really busy doing all our spring maintenance, trying to get everything ready. This wind's the last few days wreaked havoc on limbs and fence at the cemetery and stuff, but, you know, of course, every time we fire the bathrooms and fountains up, there's always some issues. So we haven't gotten everything straight because we had to break off and start mowing. But we're getting there, but there's always a lot to do, you know, in the spring. The tennis courts, I talked to him today. They're setting up for concrete for next week, into next week. And they jumped on the apron as soon as it was approved and got it fixed, the approach. And they showed up to do the sidewalk. But that was back 1st of March when I tried to tell them the next day tennis started. And so they had to back off. Well, since then, it's either tournament or rain. But next week, they've got it set to come and finish the sidewalk and do that. There's been a lot of compliments on the parking since, you know, a lot of them's like, why didn't they do that the first time or something? But there's been a lot of compliments. It's been used constantly. If they bring a bus, which usually is only once or twice a year, a bus, they park off on Park Street. But the vans do overhang quite a bit, and then certain size trucks they may not overhang, but then they're over the existing sidewalk. But, anyway, cemetery, trying to get ready for Memorial Day. Started mowing, weed eating already. I am talking to Steve, we're having a look at in the near future to open some more sections there in front of the shop on Graham. We've, for a year now, we've been keeping track. We done a count best we could of how many graves were left. And it's not so much the burials, but it's people pre-buying lots. So a year ago, we thought, well, we had 67 years left. That 67 this past year's gone down to 4 or 5. There's a lot of pre-buying this past year, plus just unfortunately busy. So we're gonna have to look at that in the near future, opening some sections. But other than that, everything's good. We rebuilt all our trash can containers. I don't know if y'all noticed. And
Yeah.
they were looking pretty bad, but we've added some extra support to them. So if they break these, they're trying to, or they're hitting them with the car. Because we even took turns kicking them and everything else while they was in the shop. We added a middle support. So yeah, if they break these, they're trying to. But other than that, just staying busy.
I have a question. I have a neighbor that their fence, they back up to the fence at the cemetery. And I guess they've been having an issue where that's rotted out so much and they've tried to kind of fix it over and over again. But have you been aware of that?
No,
Okay.
not at the
It's like-
bottom or
It's
something?
Brassfield Estates and they back right up where that fence goes in. And they've tried to fix it, but it's just rotted out and their dogs keep going to the cemetery.
Okay, well, like I said, there's sections I'll have to try. One of the landowners put in their own gate one time
Yeah.
without even asking us, but, like I said, they sent me a picture today. I didn't actually see it. This wind blew down
Yeah,
a little, so, we usually try to get on it as soon as we can because of
okay,
if they got dogs or.
yeah,
but,
okay.
But yeah, it's been there for a while now, so we're probably gonna start having a little more issues with
Okay.
the fence, but we'll get on it when we can.
Okay.
Other than that, really don't have much. Splash pad, always opens usually about the weekend before school's out. We'll probably stick with that.
Okay. Any other questions?
The only real complaint that I have been receiving, and I know this is a touchy subject, I'm just making you aware, the ducks, the feral ducks. They're pooping everywhere and everything
Yeah,
else.
like I said, we've gotten with the wildlife department the last 2 years. There's only like a couple weeks out of the year they can come in and trap them where they're doing their molting.
Mhm.
They said other than that, they can't. And so last year they'll come, they'll try to pre-feed and get them used to coming. And last year, the day they come, it just depends how many's there at the park. 'Cause like I said, they've gotten where they go. But I don't really know what else to, like I said.
I'm just passing along.
Yeah, 'cause I get calls all the time, or you're starting to see them. One of these days, they're gonna be in my yard on 14th Street, starting to expand. But,
Frank, they normally come in June, I believe. Isn't that when the ducks are molting?
yeah. And so usually, me and him will get with each other.
I think last time he was here, he picked up 90 ducks.
Yeah, last time, there was, the first time was mainly the geese, and then last time was a lot of, because when they got rid of the geese, then the ducks, man, I don't know if they were scared of the geese, because when the geese disappeared, the ducks just, I mean.
Wow.
But, every time they lay an egg, or the nest, there's like 14, 16 eggs.
Yeah.
So,
Game of duck.
but I'll
a duck cross.
check in with him again this year, yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else for Frank? Thank you very much, Frank. Police and Animal Shelter. Chief Nichols.
Thank you, Mayor. I passed our stats out for February. We'll have March stats at the next council meeting. This might say that work continues on at the new facility and that CMS Willowbrook is addressing issues as we see them. Had a couple of leaks. They got people down there working on the roof Again, I think part of the problem is just the vents, the skylights that were put in according to state guidelines on that, and they're trying to make those repairs. And I want to say that our training room has been really successful for us. We've had several trainings there between us and the fire department already, and we really appreciate that. Any questions?
Yes, I do.
Yes, sir.
Saturday afternoon at about 12:34 p.m., there was a crash at First and Mill where a couple of cars were heavily damaged. I don't know if there's anybody hurt, but I understand that was a police pursuit. Can you elaborate on that or give any details?
I can tell you that was a police pursuit, yes. An individual was arrested. He had out-of-state warrants. I assume that's why he ran. And he did hit another vehicle, and people were injured.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Recreation Center. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our new Recreation Center Director, Mr. Mike Moore.
Well, I'm not getting off to a very good start because I ran off and left my report. So I'll have to recall as much as I can. I had too many folders on my desk and I grabbed the wrong one. So I may call on you, Mr. Mayor, if I miss anything important. But there are a couple of things I do remember that are of significance. And of course, number one is Jessica left. Yesterday was her last day. And so we had a little reception and some recognition at the board meeting last night, which was very nice. And as you all know, she's done an excellent job. And as I've been told by several of the members, I have big shoes to fill. So we'll see how that goes. But no, I appreciated the short time I had with her and can see the job she's done and how fond everyone is of her. So I do hope I can keep that going. Repair and maintenance, I guess the big ticket item was the pool heater, right? That went on for about a month or so, and so that's in place. It's going well. Everyone seems to be happy. The water temperature is 87.7, so that's kind of middle of the road and about the best we can do to keep all parties happy. So we'll stay there. Our membership was up 163 members last month, and the retention at 83%, and I think that's been what it has been the last couple of months or so. So we're doing well in that category. We've got a couple of contests, a couple of activities. There's a lap contest going on, and the top, it goes till the end of the month, I believe, and the top three places are over 1,000 laps.
That's in swimming pool?
In swim pool, yes. Back and forth is one. And I think it's basically 1,400, 1,300, and 1,200 are the top three. So I was looking at the board today. That's a lot of laps. That's a lot of a swing in the arm. So, and then on this weekend, Easter, we have an Easter egg hunt for kids 2 to 12 in the pool. So those are the highlights. And next time I'll have a little bit more. But if I'd entertain any questions, if anybody has any. So, all right.
Thank you very much, Mike. Street Department? Buddy Glenn.
My memory ain't as good as it used to be, so I have to write something down here. Now, the first thing I'd like to thank the Pryor Police Department. We had a problem here a while back with people going around and shooting our street signs, stop signs, stuff with paintball guns. So and there wasn't any doubt that, they couldn't do it, but I had my doubts that they were going to find them. Well, it didn't take them long. So I wanted to say thank you to them for doing that for me, and hopefully that kind of cures the problem. I've got one request over, the gentleman lives over off of, I think it's 91 Bryan. He's wanting to put a back entrance over. His property backs up to 8th Place. They're on the south side of town, and he's wanting to put a back entrance in through there, so I've done a little bit of studying and stuff, and I think what we're gonna have to be recommended for is our ordinances and everything, also being one of our major drainages. He was just wanting to put a pipe, and which he said that he would pay for everything. We installed it, but the thing is where that major drainage, I think he's gonna wind up having to pour, he's gonna tear the curb out and pour a driveway all the way from 8th Place all the way to his fence. That way there's nothing can wash off or down in that drainage to make any type of blockage or anything. So I've got to get back with him.
We're doing some more, work over on Southeast 12th Street. We poured one section and we got another one we're pouring in the morning. At, one time we could get concrete, that's why sometimes it takes a little bit longer, because we can't get it when we need it. Like this one here, it's gonna be 6 o'clock in the morning, so, we've got all of our lights set up so they can get out there and get it poured. Hopefully the citizens won't holler too much at us. We've been dipping ditches here lately. And I reported some of these here at the street committee meeting, over by the hospital. We've done some out there at Keels Road, the alley over behind 110 North Orphan. We've done on North Aura. We've installed a pipe and dipped the ditch over there. We've reworked some of the roads out there in the trailer park, out there off of Old Airport Road. I don't know if y'all know, we have a trailer park out there. One of these days, we're gonna look into maybe a little drainage project out there, because it's, the roads, I guess you say, needs to be dust-free, and that's still, they're not. So eventually, we're gonna have to look at maybe, if we can get the drainage fixed out there, we may have to go back to look at, maybe one day do an overlay on all them. The roads are pretty solid, it's just, we have to go out there every now and then, some gravel or some millings or something to it, but we need to look at that one of these days. We've been going around opening up pipe ends and driveways. People, they've been cutting it short, and a lot of the problems that we've had is the pipe ends are been bent over, and then when they do, they don't drain, so they get leaves plugged in, animals, gallon jugs, things like that. So we've been going around trying to open some of them up, and we've done some sidewalk repair over on Marietta. Been working with Jared on some of his things. They had repaired the water line over there and sidewalk work, so we went over and repaired that. And also we had some utility cuts that we repaired. We got the one that you sent me over about there. We usually wait, they usually send me because I don't know if you got I wouldn't know what your question was on it, but usually what happens when they get done with their totally done, they pull barricades and they usually send me a list. And I just didn't have a list of that one yet, so I called up and he said, yeah, that it was done. So it was that one there, then one over on Oak Street that we're gonna do, and then we've got one more on Northeast 3rd that we've got, they finally completed and pulled barricades off of that one there. So, other than that, staying busy.
Good. I believe we had some discussion on trailer park on the north end of town, there off Old Airport Road, and we're gonna consider some of that repairs and whatnot in next year's budget.
Okay.
We got, we don't even meet ordinance there because it needs to be dust-free, and it's not. So we have some work there to do.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Next item, clerk's office. This is our city clerk-elect, Courtney Davis.
Hi, guys. I am going to give an update on the construction audit that that you guys are having done. We did request for proposals, and I sent out quite a bit. I submitted to 26 companies, and you guys all should have a list at your table. I submitted to 26 companies. I posted it on Oklahoma Municipal League's website, and I tried to submit to another company, but they didn't return my call or anything, and they are a very small firm, so they don't have an email address or anything, or a website or anything like that. So that is where we're at right now. I haven't really gotten any proposals back, but I've communicated a little bit with some of the people. You guys have any questions?
So it appears in your notes on here that you only had like response back from 3 of them, and one of them didn't return your call. One of them said that they will possibly look into submitting a response, and another one said they're not interested, and
Yes.
the rest of them not have responded.
Correct, but
So we've got a very slow,
yeah, they have 60
response
days
back.
to get it, so I assume they've got a lot of work to do on their end before they can present anything to us.
Okay.
Any other
Very good.
questions?
Any other questions? Thank you, Courtney.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll move to item 4, mayor's report. The first item on there, item A, discussion possible action regarding the appointment of Bruce Smith to City Council Ward 4 seat expiring April 30, 2023.
Motion to
There's
appoint
motion.
Bruce Smith.
Gantier, who second? Shropshire, thank you. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Yes.
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 Motion carries. Item B, swearing in and administration of oaths of office to Bruce Smith. So, Mr. Ritchie, Mr. Smith, please go front and center at the microphone, please.
We're going to do 2 oaths. If you'll repeat after me, we're going to do first of all the oath of office. I state your name.
I, Bruce Smith,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm,
that I will support, obey, and defend
support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma,
the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma,
and the Charter of the City of Pryor Creek, Oklahoma,
and the Charter of the City of Pryor Creek, Oklahoma.
that I will not knowingly receive,
I will not knowingly receive,
directly or indirectly,
directly or indirectly,
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable thing
for the performance or non-performance
for the performance or non-performance
of any act or duty pertaining to my
of
office,
any act or duty pertaining to my office,
other than the compensation allowed by law.
other than compensation allowed by law.
I further swear or affirm
Further swear and affirm,
that I will faithfully discharge my duties
will faithfully discharge my duties
as City Council Ward 4
City Council, Ward 4,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Sorry.
Sign right there. Now we're going to do the officer's loyalty oath. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
and the laws of the United States of America
and the laws of the United States of America,
and the laws of the State of Oklahoma,
the laws of the State of Oklahoma,
and that I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
discharge according to the best of my ability
discharge according to the best of my ability
the duties of my office or employment
the duties of my office or employment
during such time as I am City Councilor Ward 4.
during such time as I'm City Councilor, Ward 4.
Probably.
You are sworn.
Got it? Sworn in now?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bruce Smith.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. We'll move on to item C. Discussion possible action regarding removing from the table item 4A from the March 21st, 2023 agenda.
I make a motion that this remains tabled till after the swearing in of the new council on, that gets elected. So that they could have input and, because at that time we'll have five new people that weren't a part of any of the PYO stuff.
What is this?
There's been a motion to table. Is there a second?
Second.
Who second? Nance? Second. Is there discussion on the table? Mr. Lamar, any discussion?
Well, I wasn't, but if you're asking me my opinion, I am in favor of tabling it and pursuing and getting input for some more ideas about what to do with it.
Very good. I thought we would give you an opportunity to speak since
Thank you.
you're ramrodding that committee. There's been a motion and a second to table. Call for vote.
Yes.
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 Motion carries.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Motion carries. Item E, we'll jump down to item E. Discussion of possible action regarding removing from the table item 4F from the March 21, 2023 agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion Chitwood,
Second.
second Shropshire. Call for vote.
I have
Got a discussion?
question.
Oh, discussion?
I noticed there were some new items that weren't on previous invoices. And when we look at the item that was voted on by city council, we expressly stated that there would be no new items without going through city council first. And so there were some new ones that popped up, and I'm uncomfortable with us paying for these without it having come to city council before they were authorized.
So, this is work that has been done. These are materials and work that have already been done per the contingency modification and per agreement of council already. So what's going on is that there are contractors and suppliers who are waiting to be paid. So we tabled this last time, and it was appropriate to table it. We didn't have really the information to be able to vote, but we actually have that information today.
Well, in reviewing that information, I see some new line items that were new that weren't on previous invoices, which means they were recently created. And if you read what was stated in our, this is from the December 6th, it says no new expenses pertaining to these projects will be allowed without prior approval of the council. These were new, changing the law.
So these items that have been asked to be paid for, you're saying that we don't need to pay the contractor and we don't need to pay the suppliers,
Well,
correct?
if they were authorized from another method other than city council, maybe if it was a department head or something, then maybe perhaps we should see they funding those items out of the budget.
Could you explain to me which items you're talking about?
Sure. And it's just, let's see.
When did you discover this, Chris?
I don't know, over the weekend, probably.
Could you have discussed this earlier than right now?
I could, but when I've discussed things.
I was just curious.
Yeah, but when I've discussed things privately, it's come back to burn me.
I was just
And
curious.
so I'm making sure that the public is aware of what's going on.
Sure.
15117, rekeying the library.
15,
That's gonna be on page 16 of the actual,
17.
21 of the packet, 16 of the continuation sheet. And then also 15120. And I'd just like an explanation on those.
What was the other one, Chris?
15120, 15117. I'm not 15120, 15119, I'm sorry. My mistake.
The floors.
No, it was 15120. Those numbers.
Yeah, I believe it is 15120.
Yeah, 15120. I was looking at that line.
So you wanted the opportunity to approve break room, kitchen, millwork. Is that correct?
Well, it's still.
And you also wanted the opportunity to approve rekeying of library doors. Is that right?
Well-
Did you want to see bids on those items? Tell me what you would like to see, Chris.
I would like to see when the council votes something to be done that we follow the procedures. Not following procedures has gotten us into a lot of trouble, and I just would like us to follow the procedures. That's all.
So these are contingency modifications that have already been done. They've been done for the last 2-3 months, okay, because they needed to be done. We're almost finished with the project. So am I to understand that if we need to do any remilling or we need to do any rekeying, that we need to bring that to council for approval?
According to what was voted on December 6th by the unanimous, I believe it was a unanimous decision, that would be proper procedure, yes.
So, city council has already approved an amount for contingency modification, and this is so that the contract and so that the job can get done in a timely manner.
A contingency.
And this item, so waiting for a council meeting to approve little items like this holds up the job. That holds up the job. So, respectfully, you have, there's a motion to table, a motion to table this again? Is that right?
There's been a motion for the approval and a second. Is that a motion to table that you've now made?
I didn't make a motion.
Okay.
I just was pointing out something that I find to be problematic.
Okay. Thank you for your opinion. I'm glad you're, we're all free to express those opinions, and I'm not gonna burn you at all, Chris. So, there is a motion and there's a second. Is there any other discussion?
Yes, sir, I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know if this is the right place for it. If I'm not, you can correct me. I've got two main problems with the police and fire building. One, we got a flag problem again. The flag poles are all the same length. The middle one's not taller like it's supposed to be. How'd that happen?
That happened because it was designed that way.
Okay, that's the architect's thing then?
Yes.
Not Willowbrook?
No.
Okay, what about the fuel tank that nobody knows how much it costs, is still sitting there? What are we gonna do with it?
So,
Got a fuel tank in the fire department that somebody ordered, I don't know who ordered it. Do you know was this again, a contractor thing, or is it an architect thing?
that was also a design thing.
So why haven't we switched it out and got one we can use instead of it just sitting there?
So just for a point of order, we're getting away from the agenda, and we can't do that. So the agenda item that's up right now is item E, discussion and possible action regarding removing from the table item 4.F from the March 21 agenda. There's been a motion and there's been a second on that.
Mr. Ritchie, would it be appropriate for Mr. Smith's questions to be allowed under item F?
Are those things addressed under F? Is that
Well,
on the-
it's about approval of pay applications. I'm just asking if that generically falls underneath that umbrella.
If those are items that are on that pay request, then yes. If those are pay items.
Okay.
So since we have a motion and a second to remove from the table, is there any other discussion on that motion? Call for vote?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item F, discussion and possible action regarding approval to pay the CMS Willowbrook application and certificate for payment number 25 in the amount of $24,253.16 from Fund 87 regarding the Emergency Center and Library Expansion Project. Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion Chitwood, second Shropshire. Discussion.
The same things that I mentioned previously.
Me too.
So to pick up, Council Smith, your question about.
Fuel tank.
About the fuel tank, that was a design flaw. It's still sitting there. The plan, when we are completed with the project, in my opinion, needs to be that we declare it surplus, we offer it for sale, and we order a new tank.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I have a problem with that. If we hired an architect to do a plan and the plan was not correct and the equipment was not correct, why can't he exchange it and get us what we want? Because if we surplus it, you and I both know it's not gonna bring what we paid for, whatever that was. Nobody seemed to come up with the figure yet.
So that may be the case, if we find ourselves in a suit with with our architect, that perhaps could be a way that we're able to recover. So
Bear with
we're
me,
not,
my
but we're not there yet.
bear with me on some of these things, but why hasn't the architect been contacted, or has he?
Oh, he
And
has.
said, we want to switch tanks, and he said, no, you're keeping that one, or what was the?
So,
I believe that it was probably around February that he was here. I'll try to find it so that you can watch the video, because that was discussed.
Late January, early February, probably.
What was the outcome of it? Is he gonna get us another one? We're gonna have to keep this one, or?
there's a dispute, there's a
Okay,
dispute,
that's what I was wondering.
yes. There's a dispute about the design, about whose fault it is, in that regard. So, right now, the tank sits there, you know, is it deteriorating while it's there?
I don't know.
Probably not. It's not, doesn't have product in it, and it's not been used.
And Mr. Mayor, if I'm not mistaken, a figure sticking in my head that it was around 27,000.
I don't think it was
Something,
that.
I heard that from somebody, but I can't remember what source it was.
I don't know, that figure sounds familiar, but
I don't think it was
I can't really say right now. I
I'll
don't
try to
know.
find it for you, like when that was discussed.
But good question, good question, Bruce.
Well, I don't wanna stall the operation, but I've got some questions to ask about it, so I'll be clear on it.
Very good. Okay, Mr. Gantier had a question about 15-117 and 15-119.
We already discussed it, so we don't, unless there's something different, we don't have to discuss it again.
Is there any other discussion on those?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I think it's in your packet, and I also sent this document out to you all that kind of answer questions about how those came about. Okay.
Thank you, by the way.
Other discussion? Call for vote.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item G. Discussion of possible action regarding accepting a bid as in best interest of the city from Carlton Utilities LLC in the amount of $26,500 to be paid from capital outlay account 44445-5448 for metal siding replacement and repairs of the City of Pryor Creek Animal Shelter. Other bids were requested and none received.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion Gantier, second Chitwood.
Point, request, we would like to table this item until the next city council meeting. We are in discussions with Carlton regarding some additional items that we would like to have from him, so we would like to, he's getting that to us. We would like to do that so we can present that at the next meeting.
I'll amend my motion.
Amend my second.
Amend the motion, amend the second. Is there a motion to table?
Motion to table.
Motion to table, Shropshire. Is there a second to table? Second, Nance. Call for vote.
I think he amended his motion.
You tried to amend it.
I
I'm
amended my
sorry.
motion for it to be tabled.
Okay.
And I amended my second.
Okay, so we do have the motion to table and the second. Thank you.
Table it twice.
It's there twice, so we can have a two-sided table.
Two tables, two-sided table. Good. Call for vote, please.
Yes.
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 Motion carries. Item H is not an item for action. I just wanted to present the Guide for Growth. It's out in the community, and it's been published and publicized. I just wanted to have an opportunity to speak to it. This is what it looks like. If you pick one up from City Hall or from in print, it's about 65 pages long. Just real quickly, about a year ago, Mid-America Industrial Park had an idea that they would hire a consultant that would come in to the different cities in Mays County and the cities that surrounded Mid-America Industrial Park and take them through an exercise. And the exercise was evaluating the community. The exercise was asking people in the community what they wanted to see with growth in their community. This is something that Mid-America Industrial Park paid for. It's not something that cost us anything. After several meetings, they produced the Guide for Growth, one for Pryor Creek, one for Shodo, one for Locust Grove, one for Salina, one for Adair, and one for Langley. With the anticipation of growth in the Mid-America Industrial Park, they contributed this to us. It is basically an exercise in planning and in city planning. I would encourage council, encourage you to look through it. Some of you may have already done that. If you have not, I'd encourage you to do that. In the contents, on the contents page, if you look in your packet, pages 26 through 94 in your packet is where it's located. But the contents page talks about the planning process. It talks about things in Mays County. It also talks about things specific to Pryor Creek. So I won't go into any of those things in detail, but the reason I put it on the agenda tonight was just to bring it to everyone's attention. And if anybody would like a copy of this, we'd be happy to supply them a copy of this Guide for Growth. So anyway, that's all I have on that. Do y'all have any
Mayor,
questions?
I would like to
Yes.
speak to that. I do strategic planning for organizations, so I'm very familiar with the format. This is an extension, not a replacement of our comprehensive plan. It is not an authoritarian demand on what we're supposed to do. This is just suggestions that a group of prior people came together and helped put insight into. So I really don't want anybody to think that, somebody's trying to tell us what we're supposed to do in an action plan. This is just a recommendation, and we get to choose whether we do it or not. And it's free of charge, so it's a continuation and to kind of update our comprehensive plan.
So one of the recommendations of implementation that's in the back of it is after the study is that along with our comprehensive plan that we use this to build. And so hopefully moving forward, we'll update our comprehensive plan. There'll be a committee that's assigned for that task, and perhaps this will save us some time in utilizing this body of work.
Yeah. And I crosswalked it with our comprehensive plan so that I could see the similarities and the growth from one to the next document. So did a decent job.
Very good.
So I have a question.
Yes, sir.
This is not something that, at this point, we're gonna be taking an action on.
No.
But if we did, it would be in the future, correct?
If we did take action on this, I would not want for that to happen until there was a committee that reviewed it. I mean,
Thank you.
some of those who did review it were our Pryor Public Schools, our Chamber of Commerce was involved in it. Excuse me. There were some other community members who participated, so it was a good exercise. Any other questions? All right.
No.
Very good. We'll move on to item I. Item I, discussion, possible action for approval of 2023 Community Development Block Grant Water/Wastewater CBDG WWW, excuse me, project documents packet. The project documents packet is comprised of, and you can see that, 1 through 11. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion Chitwood,
Second.
second Gantier. We have with us Mr. Jared Crisp, who has initiated this grant. And we also have as a guest today, Ms. Michelle Ivy. Janelle Ivy, and she's with Grand Gateway. And she has worked with us for, how many years, Janelle?
About almost 3.
Almost 3 years, so mighty good. Jared, explain.
Okay, so what we're going after is a $600,000 grant for improvements to our 9th Street lift station. So the 9th Street lift station is set on 9th Street, on the other side of the railroad tracks. That was built back in 1988, 89. We've had a few minor modifications to it, but nothing big, so it's time to do some upgrades to it. We're looking at about $1.6 million. If we get this grant, it would be $600,000 that go towards that. I'm using half of our ARPA money that we received from the first round of installments, which was a little over $400,000 to go towards that. And then MUB will pick up the remainder. If we don't get this grant, we're still gonna have to do it. So, so hopefully we get it, so it kinda helps out. If not, we're still gonna have to do it. In your packets, there was, some line items as to the city of Pryor has to do this, provide this much money, provide this. Any financial obligation that's in there that says city of Pryor will be paid through MUB. We just have to go through the city because you guys have the SAM's number.
Yes,
So-
all the Department of Commerce funds go through the city, and then you disperse it according to your plan and your project.
And I think there were 3 amounts listed. The ARPA was $409,523.06.
Right.
And then the utility board from capital fund, $657,726.94.
And then the
And then-
$600,000 grant.
Yeah, and then the other one was the 44,000 going to grant, to the Grand Gateway.
For their,
The administration.
right.
And the only reason I'm reading that is so people will know those 3
Yep.
bits of money that I know of that's going through you, so just for transparency's sake, that's all.
That's item 7 and 8, kind of explains that. Council in your packet.
The fees that you charge for that are a percentage of what the total grant is that correct, how that works?
It is a percentage of the grant funds.
Right.
So 600,000 and our fees they're allowing this round is 8%.
And they do a great job because
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
we don't wanna do that housekeeping and that admin work. That's just,
It's
They
a
know how
lot
to do
of
that.
work.
That's the reason we engage them.
It is a lot of work.
they're the experts, not us.
Good.
That grant proposal, there was a lot of work went into that deal.
So,
Are there other questions? Are there other explanations?
I don't have any. If anybody wants to know, the 9th Street lift station probably takes in about 92% of our population here in town, so, we got the big one behind, the Chevy dealership that looks like the big old wheel derrick that takes the south side of town. Everything else goes to this lift station, so.
We might speak about the public hearing that we were talking about.
We will have a public hearing at my, board meeting that is on, what's today, the 4th, 3rd, so the 17th at 6 o'clock, or we'll say 5, well, I'm going to say 6 o'clock because it will be during my agenda, so if anybody would like to attend, ask questions, you're more than welcome.
That's one of the requirements of the
My
grant.
doors
is
are
that
always
there
open.
be-
There'll be 2 public hearings, one before the project and one after the project.
That's right.
So, all this stuff has to be submitted by March 3rd through, I'm sorry,
May
yeah,
3rd.
whoa, we're behind. May 3rd, through, I think the mayor's computer.
We can do it that way.
That's
So,
correct. That's correct. All right. Any other,
we should know in a couple of months, once submitted, so,
any other
keep our
questions?
fingers crossed.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you, Janelle,
Thank
for
you.
coming tonight. Call for vote.
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
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 Motion carries. Item J, discussion and possible action regarding quotes received from local real estate agents for nationwide listing of Oak Police Station at 214 South Mill Street. Is there a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Motion Chitwood, second Gantier. That's on pages 121 through 136 in your packet. And I called on Mr. Gantier for some assistance on this. This is some work that he has been involved in before as a professional, and so he made some recommendations, did some calling, did some evaluation. Defer over to you. Would you like to make any recommendations about
First of all, there were 4, and you'll see the 4 that were there. Tried to contact all of them, 3 of them responded really quickly, either immediately or got back with me. One of them was a little bit later, but her husband was in the hospital, so I give her grace on that. So I'm not even gonna mention who it was. I think all 4 of them are capable of doing it.
If I interrupt you, on page 136 of your packet is the tally.
And when I talked to them and got some explanations, it seems like they're gonna all pretty well market it in a similar fashion. The only advantage that I really saw of one versus another is we have one of them that has had experience. Now, there may be more, but this one did tell me they had experience working with a school system, the Shodo Maisie school system, and that one also sits on Shodo City Council. My only reason for that raising my radar is because of the nuances with working with city government. They may have a better understanding of the little intricacies, and that would have been Solid Rock. But other than that, I think any of the 4 are capable. So.
The reason back in January, I think it was, council instructed to go out to nationwide marketing this, and so I did some work and did some asking around, and during that time, there were a few local concerns who perhaps might have been interested in the property. Those did not pan out, and so, excuse me, and so it made sense to go with Realtor, who had experience and who had the nationwide coverage. These 4 do, and according to Chris's recommendation, I'd like for council then to approve proceeding with Solid Rock Realtors. Unless somebody has a different recommendation.
Do we need to make that as a specific motion?
Yeah, we would need to name.
I'll make that
name
motion.
As a motion.
Second.
And second, Bruce. We would need to amend the motion to include Solid Rock Realtors as the choice. Yes, that would be
Yes, I mean,
Chitwood and Gantier, okay.
I'll amend my motion, whatever.
Ms. Chitwood, you amend your motion?
I'll amend my motion
Okay.
to include Solid Rock Realtors.
I have a question, Chris.
Yes, sir.
So you're basing Solid Rock's recommendation because one of the people there has something to do with the Shodo Maisie School
The
District?
lady who
Your
is the
reasoning?
listing realtor is the one that has that experience. Solid Rock also, the broker, he's got 8 offices in northeast Oklahoma. He also has another business here, so he's vested, as are the others. But her experience, and she's the listing agent, she would, because of her experience with these types of properties, I figured it was a slight advantage.
I know that, I believe all of, these 4 real estate agencies, are they locally owned or any of them from out of town?
I believe one is local. Am I correct? No? I think United, I think from what I understand, the husband and wife live out by the lake. The one for Solid Rock, I think it's sticking in my head Chelsea, but I don't remember for sure.
What about Pro One?
The broker is Mays County, so it's close, but I don't know that overall, I don't know. You could speak on that if you'd love to address that. I don't know those details. They didn't come out.
Okay.
Other discussion? Hearing none, call for vote.
Yes.
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 Motion carries. Item 5, City Attorney's Report. There is no City Attorney's Report tonight. Item 6, discussion and possible action on consent agenda. Item A, approve minutes of March 21, 2023 council meeting. Item B, approve payroll purchase orders through April 14, 2023. Item C, approve claims for purchase orders through April 4, 2023. Item D, acknowledge receipt of deficient purchase orders. Item E, discussion possible action regarding providing police escort on May 6, 2023 from 7:55 a.m. to 9 o'clock a.m. from the William Bradford Christian School entrance on Northeast 1st Street west to Gaither Road and north to 5th Street for the William Bradford Christian School 5K Fun Run. Item F, discussion possible action regarding removing from table 6BB from the March 21, 2023 agenda. Item G, discussion possible action regarding declaring surplus 19 expired sets of body armor at the Pryor Creek Police Department and disposing of same as scrap. Item H, discussion possible action regarding removing from table item 6DD from March 21, 2023 agenda. Item I, discussion possible action regarding declaring surplus of approximately 123 bicycles, 3 push scooters awarded to the city of Pryor Creek by Mays County District Court and donating same to BACA, Bikers Against Child Abuse, and one bike 918. Excuse me. Item J, discussion possible action regarding accepting a bid from M&M Properties LLC in the amount of $12,804 for repair of Whitaker Park Pool Building from Park Pool Repair and Maintenance Account 02-219-5099, $12,275.54 to be paid from the OMAG Insurance Salesman with Progressive Casualty Insurance Company with a difference of $528.46. One other bid was received, G&W Construction and Fence Company in the amount of $15,553. One other bid was requested from Cagle Construction and Supply but was not received. Item K, discussion possible action regarding the purchase of a JNPR MX 204 Juniper Universal Services Edge router for the city Wi-Fi in the amount of $10,956 from our tech service provider FIT and waiving the bid requirements as in the best interest of the city to be expensed from real property acquisition Google Wi-Fi account 4646554422. Item L, discussion possible action regarding an expenditure in the amount of $10,168.09 from Mike's Tire and Car Care LLC for new engine replacement from the 2004 Chevrolet Silverado 3500 for the Pryor Creek Street Department from bids received from Street Repair and Maintenance Account 141455342. Other bids received, Pryor Chevrolet Buick GMC, $10,723, Suburban Chevrolet, $11,928.15. Item M, discussion possible action regarding an expenditure in the amount of $3,337.21 to Warren Cat at state contract price for repairs of Street Department 2013 backhoe from Street Repair and Maintenance Account 141455342. Item N, discussion possible action regarding engineering evaluation and study for repair and maintenance of all downtown alleys within the boundaries of Mill Street to Hogan Street and Northeast 1st Street to Southeast 1st Street as shown on the diagram, as well as the alley between Mill and Adair Streets south of Southeast 3rd at the donut shop, then north to Southeast 1st Street. The engineer's estimate for this work is $180,578. Item O, discussion possible action regarding the transfer of Jessica Rieger, Assistant Recreation Center Director, Range E, Step 2, to Fitness Coordinator, Range D, Step 2, upon the resignation of Kelsey Brook, who will be resigning effective May 12, 2023. This action is pending approval at Recreation Board meeting Monday, April 3rd, 2023. Item P, discussion possible action regarding filling the vacant budgeted Recreation Center receptionist front desk position at Range A, Step 1, annual wage $31,200. Excuse me. Item Q, discussion possible action regarding an expenditure in the amount of $4,950 to Jayco Heat and Air for a new heat exchanger in the Recreation Center lobby HVAC unit from Recreation Repair and Maintenance account 848455091. The bids received, other bids received, Melton's A&C Appliance, $5,276.05. Masters Heating and Cooling, $7,940. This action is pending approval at Recreation Board meeting Monday, April 3rd, 2023. Item R, there are a few Scribner errors that I'd like to correct in item R. On the second line, the $1,015 needs to be $1,845. The word monthly on the second line needs to be unit. And then on the fifth line down, $1,600 needs to be $2,200. We had some errors on this and we corrected them at Rec Center last night. So item R, discussion possible action regarding accepting bid from Oklahoma Mowing Company in the amount of $1,845 as a unit charge for weekly, bi-weekly lawn maintenance and landscape maintenance for Pryor Creek Recreation Center from Recreation Groundskeeping account 848455047 from bids received. Other bids received, Creative Vision Lawn Care in the amount of $2,200. A third bid was requested but not received. This action is pending approval at Recreation Board meeting Monday, April 3rd, 2023. This is the consent agenda. Which items would council like to remove?
A,
Item A,
O,
item O,
R.
item R,
G.
item G,
I and J.
item I, and J. Are there others?
Mayor, you need to remove K for best interest,
Thank you. Item K.
and you need to go ahead and remove Q, because it was pending approval. We need an announcement of approval by the rec.
Very good, thank you. And, all right,
Was Q already removed?
no,
No.
It needs to be removed for announcement of approval by the rec as well.
very good. Item A, item G, I, J, K, O, Q, and R. All the others, is there a motion?
Make a motion. I'll second.
Motion, Shropshire, second, Chitwood. Call for vote.
Yes.
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 Item A, approve minutes, March 21, 2023, council meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Motion Gantier, second Nance. Discussion? Call for vote.
Yes.
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 Abstain.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item G, discussion and possible action regarding declaring surplus 19 expired sets of body armor at the Pryor Creek Police Department and disposing the same as scrap.
Motion.
Second.
Motion Gantier, second Chitwood. Discussion.
Mr. Mayor, I looked at these vests because I was concerned of just how good they were, if we could sell them or whatever. And some of these vests I looked at were made in 2001. So they're completely, totally junk. We wouldn't want to sell them, give them, or anything else, just destroy them. But I wanted to tell everybody what the deal was on it.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Other discussion? Call for vote?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion carried. Item I, discussion and possible action regarding declaring surplus of approximately 123 bicycles, 3 push scooters awarded to the city of Pryor Creek by Mays County District Court and donating same to Bikers Against Child Abuse and One Bike 918.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion Gantier, second Chitwood. Discussion. Any discussion?
Who pulled it off?
I don't know.
Not sure who pulled it off?
So whoever was said I and J.
I pulled it off because we had, when we were pulling to remove it from.
Okay, from the table?
From the table.
Very good.
To follow up, that's all, parliamentary, that's all.
Very good. Hearing no discussion, call for vote.
Yes.
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 Motion carries. Item J, discussion and possible action regarding accepting a bid from M&M Properties LLC in the amount of $12,804 for repair of Whitaker Park Pool Building from Park Pool Repair and Maintenance Count 02-219-5099. $12,275.54 is to be paid from the OMAG insurance settlement with Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, with the difference of $528.46. One other bid was received, GW Construction and Fence Company, in the amount of $15,553. One other bid was requested from Cable Construction and Supply, but was not received. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second. Motion Chitwood, second Shropshire. Discussion.
Yes, I have a question. I noticed that a street sign was damaged, but that wasn't, from what I could tell, listed in there. Are we just eating that cost? And the second thing, the 528 difference, is that just where, we're just gonna lose that?
Yes, that will cost the city $528 to go in and make the repair. The amount, $12,275.54, was the settlement from the claim.
And then I just want to mention one thing that I've heard from some of the people. This is not mine, this is from the citizens. Why are we fixing the pool if we're not going to fix the pool? I do believe it needs to be fixed to maintain its integrity, but I did want to bring that up because that was mentioned by some of the people, and I do want their voice to be heard.
Well, that's a very good question. That was also part of the discussion at Park Board meeting last Monday night. And so Park Board discussed that and recommended that we go ahead and repair it.
Make it whole.
Yes.
Also, in that account, 02-219-5099, there's $14,690.12 as of the last report that I've got.
What's the date on your report?
February the 28th. That was the last one I could
Yes,
get.
that's the last closing, yes, we had. So there was also some discussion in Park Board about the integrity of that building. So would it be such that we could go back and do the repair? Is the integrity of the building such that we could do that repair? So we actually did have a, excuse me, we did have a buildings, what do you call it, Steve?
Structural engineer.
A structural engineer, thank you, come in today and took a look at that. He's supposed to give us an opinion about it. The opinion that we have from our park, from Frank, is that there's not been any settling of that structure. I would defer perhaps over to our city engineer and ask ask the question: should we wait until we get a word from Mr. Snowden about this?
I think the answer to that question would be, I would not recommend that. I would recommend that we get his report. I've also taken a look at the building, and I don't see any settlement. I don't see any issues with the structural members of the concrete block building. The trim still fits, the doors still work. The windows are sealed, none of the caulking was even damaged in the report, I think. We're not lucky, but it basically, I think the building, where they struck it was probably the best place they could have, caused the least amount of damage.
Did I make that motion? I don't remember if I did or not.
I did.
I seconded.
Could we consider amending the motion pending the approval of the structural engineer? That way, it'll be done if it works out, and we just go on with
Ms.
it.
Ritchie, is that appropriate to do that?
Person that made the motion can amend it, then the person that second can amend if they want.
Second it too.
Okay.
Okay, so it's.
Any other questions? That's really about it. I didn't take a look at it.
Thank you very much, Steve. I think that would be wise.
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
I will,
Randy's got.
I will amend my motion to include pending the outcome of the structural engineer's report.
very good,
And I will second that also.
very good. Any other discussion?
Mayor,
Yes.
did I see a previous engineering report on the pool that addressed this already? That had went through and see this is what we've got to fix and this is what we've got to repair? And the west end had settled 2 inches, which is livable.
Yeah, so what's on the west end is where the pool part is. And what's in discussion on this motion would be in the restroom part, the part that was run into
Okay, all right.
by a truck.
The other building.
Yeah,
All right,
on the
I'm with
building
you.
part. Any other discussion? Call for vote?
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Item K, discussion and possible action regarding the purchase of a JNPR MX 204 Juniper Universal Services Edge router for the city Wi-Fi in the amount of $10,956 from our tech service provider, FIT, and waiving the bid requirements as in the best interest of the city. To be expensed from real property acquisition, Google Wi-Fi account 464655422. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make the motion.
Motion Chitwood,
I will second that motion.
second Gantier. Discussion.
No, just so everybody understands this is in the best interest of the city.
And there's $77,950 in that account.
Thank you.
And by the way, all the money that is in that account is money that's been contributed from Google. So, any other discussion? Call for vote?
Yes.
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 Motion carries. Item O, discussion and possible action regarding the transfer of Jessica Rieger, Assistant Recreation Center Director, Range E, Step 2, to Fitness Coordinator, Range D, Step 2, upon the resignation of Kelsey Brook, who will be resigning effective May 12, 2023. This action is pending approval at Recreation Board meeting Monday, April 3rd, 2023. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make the motion.
I will second that motion.
Motion Chitwood, second Gantier. Yes, it was approved at the Rec Board meeting, and the Jess Rieger asked for that. Is that right, Mike? Yeah,
You know, there is a reduction in pay for that job.
that is correct.
She was aware of that?
She was aware of that.
Okay, just trying to take care of her.
So I'd like to amend my motion to update, announce that the rec center has approved. It's no longer pending. To update my motion.
And update the second.
And I would also like to thank Kelsey Brook. I know she's not gone yet, but her time with the city, so I don't want to miss an opportunity to thank anyone, and us on the council also as a whole, wish her the best. And thank you for devoting time to the city.
If you all have seen Kelsey out there, she's a great employee. Does a very good job. Thank you, Randy. Any other discussion? Call for vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Motion carries. Item Q, discussion possible action for expenditure in the amount of $4,950 to Jayco Heat and Air for a new exchanger in the Recreation Center lobby HVAC unit from Recreation Repair and Maintenance 48455091. Other bids received, Melton's AC and Appliance, $5,276.05. Masters Heating and Cooling, $7,940. And this action is pending approval at Rec Center Board meeting Monday, April 3rd, 2023.
Motion to approve with the approval from the rec board.
I'll second.
Gantier, motion, second, Chitwood. Yes, it was approved at the Rec Center Board meeting. Other discussion?
That account has $59,068.16 in it.
Very good, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Other discussion? Call for vote?
Yes.
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 Motion carries. Item R, discussion possible action regarding accepting bid from Oklahoma Mowing Company in the amount of $1,848 as a unit charge for weekly, bi-weekly lawn maintenance and landscape maintenance for Pryor Creek Recreation Center from Recreation Groundskeeping, account 8455047 from bids received. Other bids received, Creative Vision Lawn Care in the amount of $2,200. A third bid was requested but not received. This action is pending approval. Rec Center Board meeting Monday, April 3rd, 2023. Is there a motion?
Make that motion
With the,
with the Scribners there. That's why I pulled this off. Motion with the update of the Scribners there. And Mayor, I believe you said 8:45, or did you say 18:45?
1848?
1845.
I think it's 18:45.
18:45.
I'm sorry, 1845.
And with the approval of the rec.
And with the approval of the, okay, thank you.
Very good.
We,
So a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second, Shropshire.
we're looking at a charge of one, $1,845 as a unit, and the other one, $2,200, is that monthly? How, I'm not understanding apples to apples, oranges to oranges. I need some explanation on that one to get that clear.
I clearly understand your question.
Are we gonna do it per cutting? Are we gonna do it monthly so that we can actually figure out what these two invoices actually reflect for that?
Yes, so Jessica, I don't know, Mike, do you want to speak to this? This was confusing.
Yes, it was.
From the beginning, and you caught that and pointed that out, and so there was also some confusing discussion at the rec center last night as well, so.
Yeah, so it is, because there are 5-week months, right? So that kind of throws a little bit of a wrench into it. So we're looking at it on a monthly, though. And I'd spoken to this gentleman from Creative today, just to get a little more clarification if I could. But, so there's a charge for doing the front, there's 3 components. There's doing the front, there's doing the front and the back, and then there's the landscaping piece, taking care of the shrubbery and so on and so forth. And so the one guy, he included the landscaping piece in his 2 front and back. The other guy broke that out as a monthly. So you have to keep all that in mind when you do the calculation. And so, Creative, his unit cost, right? So he's gonna do 2 fronts a month and 2 front and backs a month, right? So each one of the fronts is $500, all right? So that'd be $1,000 if he did it 2 times a month for the 2 weeks of the 4. And then go down, if he does the front and the back 2 times a month, he's charging $1,100 per time. So that'd be $2,200 a month, and that includes the landscaping. So the total for it all for a month would be that $3,200 from him. If you look at Oklahoma Mowing, he's got it broken out a little bit different, so you got to do the math on how many times a month. So he's going to do the front for $305 2 times a month. He's going to do the back and the front and back 2 times a month. and then he's gonna do and then he's got a monthly landscaping charge, all right? So you have to take the front 2 times, the back 2 times, and the landscaping once on his bid, all right? And then when you get that, you get the, I believe the 18, no, it's actually 610,
1845.
1845, right, so that's how that all shook out.
Point of clarification,
Yeah.
he's gonna charge that 185 all year.
Once a month.
Right, so we gotta extrapolate. It's somewhat confusing,
Yeah,
and
and so-
I didn't get this till tonight, and I
Yeah.
haven't ran the numbers.
Yeah, and so, yeah, I mean, I guess you'd have to calculate it out for the season, and the season could vary, right?
Yeah.
And they will only mow, you know, there'll be communication, and they'll only mow when we ask. So if we get in the heat of the summer and everything's dormant, you know, we may just call it off for a month, you know, or a week's time, from whatever the season calls for. The other thing is that it could vary because depending on when so you get to the 5th week of the month, it could be a front only, or it could be a front and a back. So that could vary the cost some. So, you know, you really, I think you just, in my mind, you just have to kind of take it by month and then understand that it could vary just a little bit off of that.
I'm in a unique position here, because I used to have that contract. I used to cut the rec center. And there are some times when you need to cut the back and not the front, because the back has that chickweed and other stuff, the front. I would love to see what they would charge to cut the other part, not when they have to cut the front. I know we're getting time on us, but I don't have a real good grasp on this just yet. Would it really cause a major problem if we tabled it for 2 weeks? I hadn't looked at the grass. I don't know how bad it is at the rec center. I really don't know.
Well, again, it depends on the weather. You know, I think if we get 2 or 3 more 80-degree days, I drive to work in the country, and all of a sudden the trees are blooming, you know, so, and then I've seen some people already cutting their yard, you know.
What will tabling it do?
Well, it's still the apples to apples, the oranges to oranges.
So you wanting to call each company? And
No, they have the information here. It's just we got this tonight, these changes, and I haven't had a chance to run the numbers, that's all.
What we tried to do last night was to bring these two more closely in comparison. And more closely, if you bring them more closely in comparison and extrapolate it out to a monthly charge, that's where we got the 1845 and we got the 2200.
We've kind of got an issue here, though.
3,200.
It looks like on that line item, they only have $2,556.38. So it looks like we're only gonna get to mow it for a little over a month.
So that line item, we'll have to overspend, that line item.
That's
Section,
what-
that section won't overspend, but that line item will have to overspend.
Well, we'll have to do some maneuvering around to something that we haven't in the same recreational deal. But, like I say, we had 10,000 budgeted. I guess they've already spent like 7,200 out of there. So we're down to, 2,556.38 left unbudgeted or unspent for that, expended.
And it may be that for the next few months, I mean, they'll manage that appropriately.
What can we buy goats for?
Ever tried to fence them in?
Get a herd of goats and we'll take care of it.
I don't know. Chris, have you owned goats? Never mind.
No. One thing that, because I did, when I didn't understand, I did call the Oklahoma company because I didn't understand it. And that happened over the weekend, and I went to the rec director yesterday morning when I noticed there was something. He is applying fresh mulch 2 times per year to keep fresh color. Is he providing the mulch? Is that part of his? Because that is an added value. Mulch is expensive, and so that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of little nuances here that was a little hard to understand, give and
Well,
take.
he says on his bid, apply fresh mulch 2 times per year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's included in that $185 per month.
Yeah, over the 12 months, so.
Right.
I just didn't know if he was actually providing that, or if we're buying it and he's putting it for us.
No, he says that he's providing it.
Okay.
So Mike, it's your recommendation that we go with the 1845. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's the best bid we got.
That is also the
Where's the rec
recommendation
boards?
of the rec board.
Yeah, and we did, Jessica did call 5 places. 2 we never got anything from. The other one, we thought we would get one from. The gentleman came in and we talked to him about it, but then he never submitted anything, so.
Thank you.
Just if you want a point of reference, when I did it, I was doing it for 365, cutting everything, just in the cutting, so that's just giving you a point, and that was before everything went up.
Yeah.
And the person that did it the year before me, they did it like for 350, so that just give you a point of reference.
You may want to tell the rec board that, maybe something they would hold on to.
Sure.
I have a question.
Sir?
I am not at all opposed to going with the recommendation of the director and the board. I do have a concern, since Choya brought it out though, about how much left is in that account. And of course, your first reaction was, or comment was, well, we can just overspend it. What's the plan for making up that deficit if we go with this bid?
What
Well,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, we would have to, peruse the budget, and just see if there's some other areas that we weren't gonna spend all the money and move it internally. And this moment, I couldn't tell you what that would be exactly.
When will they start mowing?
Well, when we give them the green light, it just is all based on.
The front doesn't need to be cut yet, but the side part, and I didn't go around the back, but I mow for a utility board. And so I could see, so some of it does probably need it along the side, that low area. And from past experience, part of it around back would probably need it by now.
What's growing right now is the weeds.
Yeah.
Because I think you're right, 'cause the yard itself isn't okay.
So you're looking at-
Because we've got a problem inside the little daycare area that's fenced in, it's really a problem area.
Yeah.
Talking to one of the people that bid, said that is a problem area. And, if down the road we could, put some chips or rubber, mulch in there or something that's a little more conducive to kids and all, and that would make that a little easier, because it's messy in that tight spot in there. But,
It is hard to cut.
yeah.
So
But
you're looking at a little less than $6,000 until our new fiscal year budget, July 1.
yeah, so we're, April, May, June, so, today's the 4th, another maybe 10 days at a minimum before we'd have to start really getting to the point where we need to cut.
And a bunch of this will be in next year's budget anyway,
Right.
The
because
majority
we'll
of it.
after the
Yeah.
fiscal year.
Well, my question is, do we have the money to do this then? You said we didn't, and now you say we did, or
No,
help
no,
me on this.
there's a deal that's gonna happen. We'll go, our fiscal year, the budget will start again, in July. So we can start that, so that money will be put into the budget again, another $10,000. That's what we
It's
budgeted.
probably gonna be,
Well,
we're probably gonna fund it heavier than that.
We might have to, but if you look at your
Where's it in the rec? I happen to have a copy of the budget.
Yeah.
I could show it to him while you go
Page
through it.
58.
58,
That's,
and if you look at the percentages on the far right side, there's some of those line items that have very, very small percentage of that
Right.
line item expended, so you can move money around inside of a department, so that's what they'll have to do. They'll have to take it out of one line item and put it into another line item.
I wonder if we could get that done and show us where they moved it, where we've got the money. I don't wanna get in the same thing we've been in of spending more than we have.
So
That's what we're doing
look
again.
right here.
It's 5047. All right, here's the line item that he's talking about. This is what we have left right here, 2,556. Now, you'll see some of these other areas, there are additional funds within this same section.
Well, if they
And
can
if we
come
d-
up with the money to do the lawn mowing out of some other thing before we vote on this, that'd be a lot better than shooting at it and see if we hit it.
Well, if we go ahead and approve it, we could bring it up and make it an agenda item to correct that within the next month, and we
Well,
could do it.
You could look down here at like outside services. I don't know if you could consider that an outside service, but it's not a city employee. And we're only at 40.3% of that, and we still have $58,000 in that line item.
That's in the repair and maintenance account.
Outside services is 2,800.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so in the repair and maintenance account,
I need a ruler.
This right here.
you know, we've got almost 70% of the year gone. And in that repair and maintenance account, which we funded heavily this past year because
We knew that the heater was gonna go out.
and we anticipated we were gonna need lots of repair and maintenance expense, but, and so it would be a recommendation, if Mike came to me and said, Mayor, where we need to take that from, I would recommend to take whatever was over there, you know, from that repair and maintenance account.
Well, Mr. Mayor, may I make a suggestion?
Yes, sir.
The very top line, recreation center salaries,
Yes, sir.
because of the vacancies and different things that we've had, we've got a little money left over because we're at 58.2%. And since it is paying somebody to do a service, maybe from there, it's, I don't know, just a suggestion.
There's probably a few ways that we can do that.
So we have a process of how things get moved. They have a rec board, they have a director, we have a budget committee.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's a lot of oversight before a decision's made.
So if we approve this tonight, could you make sure that is addressed in your next meeting so that it can come before council and make that adjustment?
We can
Okay, thank you.
lay that out where that would come from to not create any other issues.
What we've done in the past is overdrawn the line item, showing what we've actually spent, so we have a better idea for next year's budget. And as long as you don't overspend those three categories that you have, it's not a problem. And
Right.
that way you know at the end of the year what you actually spent on that service, so that you can go forward and budget.
Yeah, so what I do like to do, I like to overspend that line item and show how much we spent and not commingle that line item with another line item. So what you have to do is not overspend the section. The section.
Department.
So you overspend a line item and you show that you do that, so that when you budget for the next year, then you have a way
You
to
know,
track
you're gonna have
that.
to add to it.
That way you're not going back to one of those other line items and say, well, did we pay the mowing, you know, out of that line item, you know, so we just need to document it that way.
Okay, after all this discussion, my question is, do we have the money, one way or the other, to pay this bill?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all.
Looking at it, yeah,
All right, sir.
in that section, yeah, somewhere.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm good.
Other questions for Mike?
Anything else?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, we have a motion, we have a second. Call for vote?
Yes.
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 All right, item 7, committee reports, budget personnel, Mr. Shropshire.
The 11th.
11 April. And ordinance insurance, Mr. Shropshire.
Nothing at this time.
Okay. Street committee, Mr. Chitwood.
I don't have anything at this time.
All right, we can plan on the regular meeting though at the regular time.
Yes.
Right. Item 8, unforeseeable business, I don't know of any. Item 9, adjourn. Is there a
Motion?
Second.
Motion Shropshire, second Nance. Call for vote.
Yes.
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 Thank you, Mr. Powell.
Yes.
Motion carries. Pryor Public Works Authority, item 1 called order to approve minutes, March 21, 2023 meeting. Motion Gantier. Is there a
Second.
Second Chitwood. Discussion? Call for vote.
Yes.
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 He said yes.
She say what?
You guys have abstained.
Yeah, you got.
Motion
Oh, that's
carried.
right, I'll have to abstain, okay.
Gentlemen,
We're almost done.
almost through. Thank you very much. Item 3, unforeseen, oh,
Yes.
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 motion carries. Item 3, unforeseeable business, there is none. Item 4, adjourn. Is there-
Motion.
Motion Gantier.
Second.
You can vote.
Second Chitwood and Nance. Call for vote.
That'd be a lot smoother.
Yes.
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 We're adjourned. Thank you,
There
everyone.
was one purchase order that I had questions on.